I am blessed to know the people that I know in my life, and I'm blessed to know this lady, Shauna Ryan. She's going to just share some of her journeys. We decided to call it Sailing with Jesus because that's the metaphor she sees for her journey and she sees for her life. So, Shauna, you speak. Tell us your journey.
Well, I was 6 years old when I was introduced to Jesus. I came from a single-parent home. It was my mother, my brothers, and myself. And at 6 years old, I was sent to a little Adventist school in Adelaide. And I soon learnt what the name Jesus meant and who he was. And I came from a mildly Catholic background. And when I say mildly Catholic, we mention the name on Easter and Christmas. And as a child, I even thought that St. Patrick's Day was a celebration of Jesus, but that stems from my crazy Irish heritage. I would go to school every day and I would learn about Jesus, and I would come home and to a home full of love. But I would, as a small child, try and work out the difference between the love that I was getting at home and this love that I was feeling as a child sitting in a classroom. And Pastor Eddie said that the metaphor of my life is like sailing, and I guess it really is. When I was a small child, I kind of look at my spiritual journey as getting onto a chartered boat. So I would be dropped off at school every day, and I would go on this boat, this journey, this spiritual journey, and then at the end of the day, I would come back to the port and I would go home and I would continue on with my life. So I guess in that sense, I was learning about Jesus while I was on this boat, and then when I went home, it'd be back to normal life on land. Now, in primary school, I was exposed to, I guess, different forms of bullying. Life wasn't easy at home with a single-parent mother trying to work and send her now 3 children to a private school with only one income. So it got to the point where at school I would come home with, bruises, physical bruises. I'd be emotionally bruised and scarred. And at the age of 12, my family, we left the church. We stopped going to church because of many reasons, but we just decided that it was too much of a hassle trying to blend in with a congregation where we didn't feel that we were at home. So we decided to leave the church. When I was about 17, we went back to church. And because of my growing up in a Christian school, I knew who Jesus was. And here's another metaphor. It was kind of like going to a party and seeing somebody that you know, or you don't know that well, but you feel that pressure. Do I say hello, or do I just continue on with this Christian etiquette? So I do the right thing. I'll pray. I'll go to church each week. But do I really take the time to get to know this person, Jesus? So I started to explore this thought of being on a journey with Jesus, and it got to the point where I had to make a decision. Am I going to continue on this little charter trip every day, go to school and then come home and go back to life on land, or am I going to step out in faith and decide that I no longer want to live my life on the land? I want to step out and I want to experience what it's like to have Jesus as the captain of my ship, which is my spiritual life. So I decided to make that step out, and it's not been easy to start off with. I felt like I was in a canoe, and for those of you who've ridden in a canoe, you feel every little bump in the water. And I felt like although I was in the canoe with Jesus, I was still feeling everything that life had to throw at me. And part of that was to do with the fact that I didn't want to let go of the oars. And as I grew, I went from a canoe to a bigger boat. And although I decided to board this spiritual boat with Jesus, I was still very much in control of my own life. And I had my hands clenching at the wheel, white-knuckled. And it took a lot for me to loosen the grip and to let go and let God. And I did that, and life was good. Now, as soon as something bad happened, I felt the need to clench at the wheel again because I felt like I wasn't being steered in the right direction. So I still am on this journey and this pattern where I feel like I've come out of a storm in my life. And like any apprentice sailor, you feel like you know a little bit more about the ocean. So I would feel that with my spiritual life, I would know a little bit more. So therefore, I am qualified to have one hand on the wheel and let Jesus have the other hand. But it doesn't work like that. I had to surrender, and I had to let Jesus hold the steering wheel entirely. Otherwise, I would just be on this road, on this trip to nowhere. I'd end up back at a port and back on the land, which that's not where I wanted to be. So I'd be lying if I said that I'm always letting Jesus drive the boat, because I'm not. I'm a spiritual control freak. I don't know if anybody else is in the house, but I am. And sometimes it gets to the point where I let Jesus drive, and I'm sitting back and I'm looking out at the spiritual ocean that is everybody. And I see other people, they're in a luxury yacht, or another person might be in a cruise liner. And then I start to think, what kind of vessel am I in? And I start to compare my spiritual life to other people. When I forget, the bottom line is I'm in a boat that floats, and I have a skilled sailor that's charted my course. I can't see the end, and there are going to be many storms ahead. But so long as I know that my skilled sailor has always got control, I don't need to worry about anything else.
So that's beautiful. Yeah, give her a God bless you, everyone. Give her a God bless you. So what do you say then to people who are just standing on the seashore, looking at the ocean, kind of trembling about the thought of getting those, kind of trembling at the thought of, Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you may lead me. What do you say to that person who's sitting here that's kind of just, struggling with the idea of getting their faith sea legs, as it were?
Just step out. It doesn't matter if you feel like you're in a canoe or in a luxury yacht or in an ocean liner or in any type of vessel. The fact of the matter is, you are stepping out onto a vessel that is being driven by the most skilled sailor that ever lived or who that ever could be. So just step out and band together with your community. Share your story with other people. I was reluctant to share a portion of my story because I didn't feel like I had a dramatic story to share. But the point of it is to just, connect. And by sharing our stories, we're able to share moments and experiences and the journey together. I'd just encourage anybody who's feeling cautious, although you think that life's pretty safe on the land, just wait till you get out to the sea and you enjoy life with a skilled sailor.
Shauna, thank you. Let's give her a God bless you, everyone. Let's give her a God bless you. We're going to go to our next testimony, which will be on the screen now.